Hey, little messies.
Oh
I'm
God.
just saying that because
Here we
Quinn
go.
hates it.
It is so disgusting to me. That's such a disgusting thing to say, Katie.
You have come up with nothing to replace
I
it.
still
And
have nothing.
so until that
I'm just gonna
happens,
I'm just gonna shit on it. I don't have anything productive. I'm like a
every
Republican. I have
time,
no ideas. I'm just gonna bring negativity.
I just don't
That's what I'm
like
gonna
it.
do. I just don't like that.
Well, we're back for another week. We have a really fun guest, Twitch streamer, comedian, soon to be dropping an album at some point in the future. Franco Danger. Franco, I feel
Yo.
like
Welcome.
sounds should happen. Like we have this
Yeah.
roadcaster board that has sounds in it, and I'm dying to press a button right now, but I just know that it will be like the fart sound. So I'm like, don't do it.
I
I
kind of really want you to do it though.
I thought about it. Let me see. Let me try one. Ooh!
That would
Oh,
have been
that was a
perfect.
good. It would have been. Okay, I
That's
did not.
nice.
Yes, I also didn't realize that it doesn't turn off until I press it again, so I would have let that go for a while. I was like, that clap is not stopping, guys.
Well, now you know for the next
Now
time,
I know.
or
Yes.
or
So
when I ask you to do it for me. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. When you're
Yeah.
telling like a
My
cool story.
my
Go
bad
ahead.
to cut you off, but I'm just noticing that I'm not seeing any like audio lines under
I
my
can
name.
see them on my end, so you're good. We've got
Okay,
them
cool,
on our
cool.
end.
Just making sure.
Franco is by far our most audio and
Efficient.
visual, yeah, savvy guest. He
Most
is
people don't know if
better.
they have their computer on,
Yes,
and
exactly.
Nah,
He's
dude,
like,
he's like,
it's
"I'm
trauma.
clipping." He's like, "I'm clipping."
It,
I never pretend I knew what that meant. I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." I mean, maybe. I
Quinn's
think I
like,
heard
I'm
it. I
gonna
don't
do
know.
that. It's
no,
gonna
it's
be
all
good.
trauma. It's all trauma from like doing streams where I'm like killing it. I'm being hilarious, and then I go back and look at it, and I'm like, oh, my mic wasn't on. I was
Oh
using the
no.
wrong mic or whatever. And I'm just like, oh my, so many nightmare like days, like hours of gameplay, and I'm like, I got to do this whole shit all over again.
When you're
Yeah,
doing that, are people in chat saying that they can't hear you, or they're just you? Are you thinking people aren't responding?
it. I'll notice when my girl pops onto Twitch and she goes, "We can't hear you," and I'm like, "It's been 45 minutes, and I've been streaming to 0
Oh,
people," and I'm just like,
oh,
"Okay,"
yeah.
you
You're
know,
like, no wonder.
yeah, yeah, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'll see people pop in, and I'm like, "Hey, say what's up in the chat," and then they just dip, they ghost me, and I'm like, "All right, I guess not."
And they're probably like jumping in. So listeners, Franco streams on Twitch, which I have also dabbled in the Twitch world. So
Hmm.
I understand we have done that where we've been like hooting and hollering and the mics are not on and people like they do that. They'll drop in and they say like hey in chat and then we're like hey and then they just go away and you're like
Uh huh.
where's everybody going and then your like one friend that you know in real life is like bitch, we can't hear you. Like,
Yeah, no one knows what you're saying,
please
and
do
you're killing. It's always
anything.
when you're killing. Oh my bad.
Of
Yeah, yeah.
always.
It's always when you're
Ugh.
killing. It's always when it's something that you want to keep. You're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the one.
You're like, clip it, guys. And then
Hmm.
Quinn is like, kill me. That was a different clip.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a gamer. I just don't. I'm not a exhibitionist gamer. I do it in the privacy of my own
Nice.
confined bedroom.
I was doing it too much, and I was like, okay, I need a reason to justify the amount of times I'm I'm I have a controller in my hand. You know what I mean?
That's a
So I
Well,
was like,
good
that's a
tactic.
good way to
Yeah.
do it. That didn't come to me. It probably should have, but yeah. I'm gonna
You
keep that
would
in
do it,
mind.
Quinn, if someone like built the site for you and the account, and then you were like,
Hmm.
fine, I'll do it if all I have to do is show up and be on there and be
oh,
like the
Yeah,
host.
dude, there's so much like there was so many dollars spent on equipment I found out later I didn't need. It's
Yeah.
so annoying. It's so
Yeah.
annoying, and you're like, okay, this should be it. All these $100 should make
Get
sure
the
everything is connected and all this stuff. And then next thing you know, you watch another YouTube video, and then it's like, oh no, you need 3 more things, and you're like,
yeah.
what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
and that is another reason why I've never done it because I
Yeah.
Yeah.
would go insane. I'm not really big on planning stuff, so
Yeah.
it's
It's
not really
annoying.
my.
Yeah.
So I actually found Franco because my loving boyfriend does this thing where he goes to the bathroom and poops and sends me 3,000 reels in one sitting. And he sent me a
And
clip
one
of
shitting.
Franco's one shitting.
That's my. By the way, that's my target audience. That's
Men
my
on the
target.
toilet.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, you nailed it because he sent it to me and it was so funny. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's great. And then I was like, did you go to his whole page? Every joke is so funny. And then I
Oh, thank
found
you.
Franco and I was like, we're going to make him be on this podcast.
Hell yeah.
So
And
here
joke's
we
on
are.
you. This is my bathroom. I am on
I
the
love
toilet
it.
while we're doing this. I just
You're
make
like,
it look
look,
like it's a gaming area.
part
Yeah.
of the equipment I bought was a toilet adapter
Yeah.
with a
Yep.
microphone. um, so, little messies, Quinn.
Oh.
Little messies. It is the week after New Year's Eve. And we asked our listeners if they would tell us what their New Year's resolutions are. And I did anticipate a little bit of horniness, but I did not anticipate the level of horniness that comes through the listeners who message Quinn.
Oh god.
Because I got some messages from people that were like, what was your first kiss? And I was like, that's not a New Year's resolution, but we'll work with it, you know? And then a couple more people asked that. And I was like, did I say something that talked about my first kiss? Like, where is this the same person sending this message multiple times? And I thought that was horny enough. And then Quinn got messages that were literally like, let's see. I'm like, some of these I can't even say. Have your children, to meet
Okay.
you, yes, to get a big boy, hopefully, to find me a gorgeous man just like you.
Okay, Katie.
Someone just wrote you.
Katie
I
likes
love
to
it.
embarrass me. Okay, so first of all, these most of these responses are from gay men. So
Yes.
I think horniness is implied. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the language. It's the gay handshake is the blowjob. So I don't think that's really out of the ordinary here.
That's fair. That's fair. I saw
Must
something.
be flattering though.
He has such a confidence that I strive for.
You don't like me, do you, Katie? No, I can tell you don't like me.
Now you're catching on. I'm fueled by jealousy.
I'm highly perceptive, practically psychic. I know.
But yeah,
You just like to
Franco,
give me
men are
shit.
horny for Quinn. And
Hell yeah.
Franco as a presumed straight man, I'm sure women don't.
And I'm sure men are horny for Franco too. And
They probably
I
are, but
haven't
they're not
gotten
messaging
any.
them. You
I don't
never
think I've
did?
gotten any. I think I've gotten maybe one or two
In
in the
per-
comments
Okay.
after that video that you saw me from.
Yeah.
That went pretty viral, and then I had a couple like "damn he cute" type of shit.
The horn
You
dogs
know,
came
yeah,
out.
the
Yeah.
horn
you just got
dogs
to make
came out.
yourself
Yeah,
more
yeah,
available.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I think it was like
Um,
two dudes. I think it was just two dudes because
That's good
those mean
though.
more to me. Those mean more to
Yeah.
me. You know,
because they're real.
'Cause- yeah. But like I
They're
said, they're also on the toilet, and that's my
yeah,
demo.
they're just doing something different on the toilet. And
Yeah.
not only that, from gay guys that it's completely superficial. Women, they think about feelings and they're like, he seems
Yeah.
nice. No, they don't. This is strictly superficial. They just like, this is meat and I like this meat. That's the compliment.
In some ways, I feel like that makes it a better compliment because they're
Hmm.
literally just like, I think you're hot. They're not like, I think you'd be a
Yeah.
good dad.
And I don't get that
Yeah.
often. I don't get that often. So when I get it, I'll take it. I don't give a fuck what it is. It could be a turtle. I'll be like, all right. I'm like, good looks. I'm good for the rest of the week.
Yeah,
Walking on
exactly.
cloud 9.
Yeah.
I saw something, speaking of New Year's Eve, I saw something that CNN released a statement that said that they are not allowing their hosts to get drunk this year during
What?
Oh, after
the
what happened last year.
yes.
What happened last
Did
year
you
again?
guys see that? So Andy Cohen got trashed,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even remember
The
what he said.
gays.
I just remember that he was very, very drunk.
I don't understand why anybody would hire a gay person to do a show for New Year's. I think it's pretty clear that we're going to party ourselves out pretty fast to the point where we're not going to be able to do any work. That's why there's no live coverage of Pride. Have you noticed that? That's because everybody's fucked up.
That's fair. Yeah, that is
Who's going to
true.
do it?
That's
Yeah.
true.
After a while, let's take this microphone from me. I'm done.
I'm off the clock.
Who's gonna do this? I'm not doing this.
They're like having sex while they report. They're like reporting to you live from the stall
From
on
the
23rd.
Eagle, right there. Yeah.
They're like running down the street. Chase me.
Yeah,
Chase me.
exactly. So do
Yeah.
you
So
guys have? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, not to cut you off. It wasn't just him. There was that other what do you call them? Those
There's
CNN
another
people who
person.
come and talk about politics and stuff. Like I don't think it was a reporter. Maybe it was a reporter, but it was Don Lemon, who
Okay.
was another gay. There was another problem there. And he
Oh.
was talking to this woman, and she said, I believe what she said was, he asked her what her New Year's resolution was, and she was like, no more bad dick, or like something, no more weak dick something in 2022. And she said it like on camera.
I
He had her
love
like
that
repeat it
for
because
her.
he didn't really think that's what she said, but that's what she said. And I knew she said it the first time I heard it. I was like, did she just? And she said it, and that's when Cena was like, nah, you motherfuckers can't drink no more.
They're like, it's too much.
It's like the family function, like the bar is not open anymore. No.
Have you guys?
Whoa.
I told Quinn. Okay, first of all, are you guys New Year's Eve people? Like, do you celebrate it, or are you like, meh?
Yeah, I
A house
do.
party.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It'd be like a
Not
party,
out in
and
public,
it's
not out in the streets. No.
nah. Yeah, it's always like a house party, and I use
Mm-hmm.
that time for like reflection. I'll go reflection. I won't go like, this year I'm gonna do this. This year I'm gonna do that. Although like this year I already told myself like I vow to make the next year the hardest year of my life, but in a positive way. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
work hard type of
Mm-hmm.
way, not like I'm gonna get an addiction. Hell yeah, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm
I'm gonna add
in
a
a productive way.
problem.
Yeah, yeah,
Like pushing yourself
Okay.
and challenging yourself and doing more difficult things.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, now this is good because I was just gonna talk about times that I got kicked out of public places on New Year's Eve. But before we get to that, so since you said that, Franco, I have a question. Are you, because I talked about this with Quinn and I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna do New Year's resolutions this year, but then I just can't not do it also,
Uh huh.
because I like to make a plan that I don't keep or whatever. So part of your resolutions, are you creating like actions that you want to hit every month or week or whatever, or are you just like, okay, I know I'm gonna work harder and whatever that looks like is what it looks like?
I don't really have like an action plan. I should. I feel like that's a good idea, you know. But nah. I just go if like if my day job sucks and I work really hard there, I want my career to
Yeah.
suck just as much, like in a work ethic kind of way.
Yeah, like make
Mm.
you just as exhausted or whatever, or like you feel like you're putting in as much.
Yeah. I want to put in as much there, and then like because then at the end of the day or at the end of the night, you're like, all right, I didn't want to make that hour drive. I ended up doing it. I had a great set. I'm driving an hour back. I'm in bed. I'm like, cool. At least I was productive. But
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
don't do that and all I did was work that day, I'm like, oh, there goes another day gone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I'm
But
trying to
Yeah, I
get
hear
like
that.
yeah,
that too, where I'm like, all right, it doesn't need to be like an hours long thing, but I have to do something every day that helps,
hmm
whatever it is, even if it's only 20 minutes or whatever, working on a video or something. Um, what about you, Quinn?
Well, that's what make these resolutions work. Like, you can say, I want to get in a better shape. And you can say that, but unless you make it like, okay, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to start making my protein drink and going to the gym. Unless you like break that down into actual actions, it's like it never really happens. So like
Hmm.
that's actually true. It's good to like have an
Yeah,
action plan.
that is what I read, was to have your goals be um what your action will be as opposed to
Mm.
what the result
What you
should be.
overall, yeah, that's
Yeah,
psychology, baby.
I know.
There was this app that I downloaded. I ended up like not using it because it wasn't working so much for like comedy. I think I might go back to it, but it's since I'm a big gamer, like I
Mhm.
it like gamifies your life.
Okay.
So like let's say you know what you want to work out or something like that. Every time you go to the gym, you like put that into the thing. You have like your own little avatar. Every time you go to the gym, you kind of earn points. By the end of the
Yeah,
Okay.
week, you
XP.
level up. Yeah, you level up. You get more health. You get more shield. And then with you and your friends are in the app. Like if you guys are in the app,
Oh, that's a good
to,
idea.
you all have to work hard at your goals because at the end there's a boss level. So like at the end of the month, you guys all try to defeat the boss. And if one of you is fucking up, everyone else is like, "Yo, we need the archer or
Why are
whatever."
you so weak?
Yeah, why you eating donuts for breakfast, bro? Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
hold
that's a
yourself
good idea.
accountable. And I'm like, "Oh, this is the greatest
I
app." But
actually
like,
like that.
yeah, it's really really cool. There's like a lot to do cuz it's with comedy it's weird cuz it's like there's writing goals and then there's like sets and then
Yeah.
like you can't really um like ones and zeros a stand-up set. You can't really
Yeah.
like, if okay, you went up, but if the joke if you didn't do a new joke,
Yeah.
it's like did you
That's what
really
I was
even
gonna
work on
say.
something?
You'd have to make it so, like, I get a point if I tried a new joke or something. Like, I made
Mhm.
myself write a new joke. Cause yeah, like, otherwise you're just like, "Yeah, I punched in."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I punched in on stage and then I went home.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, it's hard to do that. Like I've been. This is like really making me think about. See, I don't do New Year's resolutions ever since COVID because when we couldn't do anything, I was like, why do I need a New Year's resolution when I'm probably gonna die? And then if I don't die, I can't go nowhere. So I stopped doing New Year's
Yeah.
resolutions in 2020, and I haven't gone back. I prefer to do like birthday to birthday, but
Mm.
thinking about it like this, it's like yeah, like it's like I try to do that thing where it's like you should write at least 2 hours a day and get in the habit of a true comedian is a writer first. And like
2
that's
hours?
not easy to do.
I
Like
would
at least
not
2 hours a day.
I would
Whoa.
not be able to do that just physically. Like, I just physically wouldn't have time to do it.
Luckily, I have the time to do it, and I still
Yeah,
can't
you
do it.
literally have no excuse.
I mean, I do have an excuse because, excuse me, I realize everybody here is a comedian, but I'm also an actor. I am a SAG actor, so I have other things going on. I have two jobs, okay?
The
Two
days that
jobs.
you don't go to work as a SAG actor, you could write for 2 hours.
This wasn't about me writing for 2 hours and you telling me what to do, Katie. I appreciate that. Uh, but I feel
Franco,
bad enough. Damn it.
I can
Um,
text Quinn at any hour of the day and
oh
he will
God,
respond unless it's from 8 in the morning to noon.
I gotta sleep. I'm starting to get a little tired. No, but
Uh-huh.
no, but like the whole thing is like you're supposed to write 2 hours a day. You're supposed to look at it as a job, and like it's hard to do that. And like stand up is a really difficult craft and discipline to make. I don't know, make sense because like it doesn't
Here-
make sense as a job. It doesn't make sense what we do, so it's kind of hard to like schedule something that doesn't make sense.
Here's a question.
If
Yeah.
Do
that
you
makes sense.
guys Yeah, do you
Yeah.
guys write do you make yourself write jokes when you don't feel like it, or do you wait for the joke to come and then write
You can go ahead, Quinn. You can go ahead on this.
it?
I was just laughing because I use my Twitter as that. Like Twitter is just
Yeah.
my whatever thought comes to my head, and then if it does well on Twitter, if it gets like hundreds of likes, I'm like, okay, well this is funny, so I can like either reword it and try it again. But
But
that's like
you're not
that's the most of my writing
but do
for
you say I
ideas.
need to tweet every day, or do you just only tweet when
Yeah,
you're
I
writing
tweet every
jokes?
day. I like if there's one app that I got my engagement up on, it's Twitter because I stay my black ass on Twitter. I'm always tweeting. and it's
Yeah.
helped me tremendously. But it's a good way to gauge basically whether or not something is funny or people are interested in what you're talking about. Like
See,
if you
I
tweet
just
something
think
and a lot of people have something to say, it's like, oh, then there's more funny to mine in this.
I'm just not funny a lot of days. So
That's not true.
I'll be like,
I
nothing's
feel like
coming
that.
out. And then there'll be 3 days where I'm like, I got 27 new ideas. Then there's
If
like
you had like,
seven
I look
unfunny
at
days.
Twitter. Okay, look at it like this. Like, do you use Twitter, Franco?
I have one, but I barely use it.
See, and that's the case with a lot of comedians I know. Like, there's a lot of big comedians who use Twitter, but a lot of like comedians that I know that aren't like big comedians don't use it that way. But it's like if you just picture using Twitter as like whenever you get a stupid thought or a stupid joke, you just tweet it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That
I
has
think
value, I think.
I
Yeah.
think based off of the limited stand up, based off of what's it called? Stalking Franco's Instagram in like a very long one session that I did. Franco and I do things similarly, I feel like, where we don't necessarily go set up punch, set up punch, set up punch. It's like more of a story that if you did try to like tweet that, it would just be a nightmare. Like if your
Yeah.
idea is
Oh,
like
then
a
that's your lesson.
thread. Yeah.
Your lesson
No,
is how to edit that. I'm a one
Yeah.
liner, so that works for me.
Yeah.
thankfully not. Like I've actually, um, starting out, I wasn't a one-liner, but I do write a lot of one-liners that I can fit into bigger bits,
Yes.
and that's
Yes.
most of
Right.
like my stuff that I'm just like it's all really connected and like hidden one-liners.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
tried being the one-liner comedian, and it just did not fit my character at
Yeah.
all. Like there was a point like maybe a week where I was like the very quiet alt comic where I was like, "Hey everybody,
I
how's
tried that
everything?"
too.
And it did
Yeah.
not work at all
Yeah.
cuz the
No.
worst part was I wrote like maybe 3 jokes in a very deadpan way, but the rest of my set was
Was
like,
you
"Yo, y'all
being
like
you?
buttholes? Buttholes are hilarious." So that I'm like, "Ah, la, la, la," and I'm like, "I wrote this new joke. If you guys want to hear me out."
So your
Um,
code switching on stage.
yeah, exactly. I went from like no bullshit. I went from like being all hype and just doing crazy shit to be to the next joke was so I have social anxiety and then nobody believed me.
Yeah.
Nobody believed
Yeah.
that shit.
It's so weird. Like
Immediate
you
bomb.
you don't really think they're listening, but they do listen. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
strange. Like it's like y'all really be paying attention, huh?
It-
Yeah. But see, I look at Twitter as a way to just like basically just put the one liners out and then you can keep doing whatever else. I think it's good for engagement and then you get
mhm.
followers from that and then you get people who can give you interaction has led to a lot of things for me too because it's like oh so like that is like the logical place where this joke will go or oh this is what a lot of people might be thinking so I can misdirect them here and that kind of thing. But
Got you. I gotta get on it
I
more.
think it's just a tool.
Yeah, yeah. I see that. I see that because I don't really. I can't sit down and write. There was a point in Jersey where you can get up on stage, you know, a really good amount. So I was mostly bringing an idea on stage and then working it out there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then that's how I came up with, I think, most of my set. It wasn't really like sit down shit. Some things I like joke around with friends, and you remember that, and you just write it
Mhm.
down or
Hmm.
whatever, and then you can fit it in your set. Recently, I think I have to start sitting down more because I'm having a hard time coming up with material, but I'm also not doing as many spots as I was before. So now because I'm not doing as many spots, every spot and every show feels almost precious where I'm like I have to bring the A material
Yeah.
because now that I'm also starting to make my way in the city more, I don't want to pull up and be like, "All right, let me load this set up with like 4 new jokes." I'm like, "No, I'm
Yeah.
trying to meet people. I'm trying to like impress these people. They're, I
Yeah.
want to be on more shows."
So you need to do like evergreen stuff that works. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to do the A material, the A set, and then but Jersey's been dry after COVID. The only spot is Jersey City that's really popping off like that. And Asbury Park, they have a great show. Allie Mae, Power Bottom, and Joe McAndrew. That's a great show out in Asbury Park. But you can
Hmm.
only do a big show for so many, like a certain amount of times a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they have
Yeah.
a returning crowd and
Yeah.
shit. So it's not like, and plus I would never disrespect it and be like, hey, I got new shit to work on. Can I do 10 minutes of all brand new shit? No, like
Yeah.
it's
Can I bring your show down maybe?
yeah, yeah,
Possibly.
Or maybe not, but maybe.
That's true, but
Yeah.
yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
There's
So it's been
always
hard. Like
yeah, like
there's a
it's
shift in
difficult.
that. There's a new shift in that where I got to start writing, like for real.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would do for 2 hours a day of writing. I've never done that.
I have only done it. I've only been able to do it a couple times. Don't hit me, Katie. But I've only been able to do it a couple times, and it's not easy. And I got a lot of. I think for me, it was like I got a lot of stuff that I'll eventually be able to use because like I have a habit of like writing stuff, and then it's like this is good, but I don't know what the fuck to do with it. So
Hmm.
then I leave it, and then like time will go by, like weeks or months, and then like I'll have a joke that I think, and I'm like, oh, and this might work with it. So it's kind of like just getting it out and just having it there, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
like once you forget it, it's gone.
Yeah,
But like if you can
true.
remember it and have it written down, you can always go back to it and like be like, I have this whole notes thing full of all these premises and ideas, and
Yeah.
um, so that's what it does for me. I don't put pressure on like I have to write a joke. I just write down whatever I think is funny or humorous, and I just do that. Try to do that continuously for 2 hours.
All
Word.
right.
That's what Judd Apatow said to do.
Well, maybe we'll try it. We'll see.
I think the one time I went down, I went to sit down and like write. Like I was going off on these crazy tangents, and then I'm realizing like this is only funny to me right now, as it's like this really long act out, and I'm
Yeah.
like, why am I writing an act out? Like I have to feel, what it feels like first, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like it just felt weird, and then I tried it, and it would bomb, and I'm like, I don't get it. It's weird. It's like I need like a hybrid of writing, like the ideas down, and then trying it on stage, and then trying to write how I sound on stage.
Yes.
Because if I go on
I
stage how I write, it
yeah.
feels unnatural.
I also found that I can type out exactly so two things have to happen. Sometimes I don't know if this happens with you guys, but like if I can just like envision that first sentence of a bit, the
Hmm.
rest of it will just kind of like come out. But if I know where it ends and I don't know the start, I
Hmm.
can never get to that. Like I'm like, oh well, I just don't know what I would say. Like even though like I know what the idea is, I'm like, I don't know what I would say. And so I would write ideas in a note section, and then I'd be like, well, if
Mm.
I'll try to throw this in at a show in the middle somewhere, and I'll just see what happens. And like occasionally a whole new bit will just come out, but a lot of times it's me just like saying an idea and then being like, fuck, I was wishing that joke showed up and it didn't. But
Yeah, or I've
Yeah.
had that happen, or I'll have like a something in my head, and then that thing will happen where like after some time, the perfect moment will come up to use it, and
yeah.
it's been
Hmm.
like in my head for so long that it seems like it's off the cuff, but it is not.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So far from it. So yeah, I guess it's yeah, writing's the worst part of comedy. Anybody who's listening, it's the worst part of stand up.
Yeah.
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 I'd rather do
It's the homework.
I'd rather do improv stand up.
Oh, me too. Me too.
But then I used to
Yeah,
do
actually.
improv, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Actually, I run a show with my friend Sean McDonough, and we I met my girlfriend through improv, and there was this thing called La Ronde, where like you have two people on stage, they establish a relationship, one person leaves, and then the person that stays on stage is the same character, someone else has to come in as a brand new character and kind of justify why they're there.
Hmm.
um so like I took that and I modeled that for like a stand-up, like how can I make this a stand-up show. So
Yeah.
I created it wasn't called Tag Team Champion at the time, but it's basically an all improvised show. Comedians can't use any material. They go on stage by themselves, and then they go on stage with someone else, and they're there for 5 minutes. It's just them and the crowd, and they got to completely improvise everything.
That would be great. I
One
Ooh.
would
of the,
love that.
Yeah, that would be so
yeah,
fun to watch.
it's fun because you kind of
Yeah,
pit
I want to
everybody
do it.
together.
Well, it'd be fun
Yeah,
to do and watch. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking for another venue right now because the first venue has just been kind of like sketchy with dates and stuff. But so you have like the one comedian, they're up with somebody, then that one person leaves, they stay on stage for like 2 minutes, and then someone else
Okay.
comes in, and so they have to partner up with other people, and then the crowd decides who was the best one in those different partners. Like so, it could be anything. We give
Ooh.
away like dumbass prizes. Like I gave away like I have one prize right here, just random shit.
A
A
picture of a
picture
chicken
of a
sandwich.
chicken
Yep,
sandwich.
that's it.
That's
That's what you
amazing.
get. Shit like that. Just random shit. We gave away like a Goomba from Super Mario.
Oh, I love
We're just
it.
it's just all chaos. Like I was a big Chris Gethard show fan, and like
Mm.
I'm like I love that chaos and all that shit, and that's all that show is. It's just chaos. We stay on stage, we fuck around with everybody, but it's all
That's
from like the
fun.
love of improv. Yeah.
Love that.
So when you
There's
met
so
your
much hate for
girlfriend,
improv. It's good to see somebody who loves it.
Oh,
I know.
I love it. I love it so
Yeah,
much.
I love it too. My problem with it was that I just needed too many perfect circumstances to be able to do it. And I was like, stand up is way easier for me to create. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need a
Mhm.
team, you need an improv show. Like, it's just harder. There's not a
Nobody
lot of
wants to
improv
go see
open mics.
improv. Yeah.
Well, there's also that. Yeah. It's harder to get
Dude,
people to
good
watch it.
improv is incredible. Bad
I know.
improv is the worst night of your life.
Also incredible.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
Well, that's because you like watching. Katie would enjoy people like doing bad improv and like just
my
laughing at
favorite
them.
my favorite movie growing up was the Titanic. So
So yeah.
um
Whereas I would just be sitting there like, oh no, you should. Oh. And Katie would just
Yeah.
be, she'll be laughing like Robert De Niro on Cape Fear, and having a good old time
get
like
out of
that.
here. Yeah. Franco, when you met your girlfriend, were you on a team together, or were you um were you like, oh, sweet moves in that scene?
And then you
So
teamed up.
Yeah, exactly.
so when I started improv, she was already on the house team, and then I worked my way up, and I was trying to get on the house team so bad. I ended up getting on the house team, and then yeah, that's how we met. She saw me. She came to my class show just to watch, and then she saw me there, and she was like, "I gotta have that caramel man." Um,
Caramel
uh,
man.
look at
And
that
that's when
fine.
you started nailing each other.
Yeah.
In
Or
right
was that
way.
before?
Nah, she was like, "Look at that baked bean looking motherfucker. I'm about to make a, I'm about to make
Mine.
a mine." Um,
That
nah,
tan Ninja Turtle.
You won't take any of my sunscreen.
yeah, no. Then that's how we met. And then we ended up doing like a sketch or something like that. We got pretty cool, and then yeah, and then we kept doing improv together, and then eventually both just left doing that. I think I was doing improv about a year and a half or 2 years before I did stand up.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, me too. I was UCB, baby.
I went up to 301. We were doing short form
Okay.
improv.
Oh.
So me and Angelique were doing short form improv, and then towards the end of that improv, I started doing UCB. Went up to 301, and then I just couldn't keep it going. But I love that too. That's like fucking high speed chess.
Yeah.
It's
UCB,
very quick.
holy shit.
Making everything come back to the original. When you watch people do, like we said, like if you watch people do it well and they like take something from the first scene and then they use it, like different people use it again, like
Hmm.
in the last scene, it blows my mind.
Yeah, it's like magic.
Yeah.
That's exactly
So
what
good.
it is.
Okay. I have with me today a list of the pettiest things that people who listen to our podcast have done after a breakup.
Hell yeah.
And before we begin, have you guys ever done anything petty after a breakup that you can remember?
I'm trying to think. You can go ahead and take this one, Quinn. I'll think of
Uh,
something.
well, okay, so I was in a relationship with somebody. It was kind of a breakup, makeup thing for about 3 years. And he told me that he was going to move back to South Carolina, and he did it very randomly. He told me like at 8 p.m. His train was leaving at like 11:30.
Oh my
It was
god.
Damn.
I was very blindsided. I was going to be left with the apartment and all the bills,
Oh, he was
and he
leaving
didn't
like
care.
out of the home
Like
that you
leaving, he was
shared?
like, "I don't want to be in New York anymore." Yep, he's like, "I don't want to be in New York anymore, and I just can't do it." Blah blah blah. And I was like devastated. Like I didn't see it coming. I didn't know it was going to happen. So he basically, we had like from 8 to, I think he left around 10:30, something like that, because his train was like at 11:30. He broke up with me. We had a big fight about it. We had sex in the foyer, and then he left. And then it was angry though. I was upset. And then
Well,
he
yeah.
came
Yeah.
back. He was gone for like 4 months, and then like started reaching out to me again on social media and was like, "I want to come back. I want us to get back together." And at this time, like, I've gone through the breakup, I've gone through all that, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. And so he was like, "Well, my name is still on the lease, so I'm gonna come back." And I was like, "Well, shit."
Whoa.
So he came back, he moved back in, and he was like, very like, "I want us to be." He also left me with a cat. I should also mention that he left me with
Damn.
his pet as well. And he was like, "I want us to be together. I want to do all this stuff." And I was like, "Well, I don't really want to." It was really um can it wasn't really great, but we were still having sex. And so what happened was I was still really angry at him, and I decided to like break up with him because of it. But before that happened, and Katie, I'm going to need you to be quiet when I say this.
I'm not. I won't say a word.
Before it
Go ahead.
happened, I told him I was going to the store one night, and I hooked up with the guy on Grinder on our roof, and came back downstairs, and then I told him, and then I broke up with him.
You came downstairs. You're like, yo, I was just on the roof.
I was just
I
on the
was
roof.
not at the
I fucked the
store.
hell out of this guy, and I don't want to be with you anymore. Now, I should also
Oh.
mention that when he left, he also was talking to somebody else. So he cheated on me first.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And
But
I
did you really
mean,
go to the store or not?
oh no, I didn't.
That would have been fire if you were like, by the way, I met up with
Yes.
some guy. I fucked him on the roof. Here are the eggs.
Here's a honey bun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
that would
Here's
have
the
been funny.
toilet paper.
But I
Yeah.
never got over the fact that I felt, I don't know, he claims that he didn't hook up with the guy, that they were just like talking, but I did find in his DMs that he was like talking to this guy about, I found this after he left, that he was talking to this guy about coming back to South Carolina or North Carolina, whichever one it was, because it was a while ago.
What an
And he
absolute
was talking to
maniac.
him. He was talking to him for a couple of weeks leading up to him leaving. So I can only assume that he was talking to this guy, went down there with this guy, and all that stuff happened. But I don't know. And he denied it because he's a
Mm.
super liar. So it was in my head, and I was upset, and I felt trapped in the house, and I was petty. So I did the one thing I knew that would like completely end it.
Did that okay,
Damn.
first of all, I have a logistical question. The
Mhm.
first time he left, was he packed when he told you, or did he like tell you and then he was like, now
No,
I have
no.
3 hours to pack my most
He came.
precious
I was
items?
like in the bedroom. I was like on my computer in the bedroom. He came and like sat on the end of the bed and just told me, like,
But was
just
he packed
randomly.
everything, or was he
No, he
like
started. He couldn't pack, or then I would have known what was going on. So he
that's what I
told
was
me first,
wondering.
and then he packed while we argued.
Shut the
And
fuck up. I
Damn.
I
can't
know,
pack
right?
for a week vacation in 3 hours. I could not imagine packing to move
While
He
you're
while
did.
I'm
arguing.
He
fighting. Yeah.
Yeah,
and he's
nah,
like, he
that's
was one of those
crazy.
people like, oh, I'm not gonna argue. Like, there's nothing to argue about. Like he was like that kind of, like, I don't
Mm.
want.
Oh,
He wasn't confrontational. So
okay. I mean, yeah, that's like even Katie before therapy wouldn't do something that shisty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to avoid conflict. That is like that makes me feel good about myself.
he was a piece of shit.
That's
Damn.
wild.
So
Damn.
yeah,
Wow.
everybody, bottoms can be terrible too. Okay, so just want to put that out there.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn.
That's so
Ah,
much.
yeah, I
Go
can't
ahead.
beat that. I can't beat that. I can't beat that at all.
Franco's like, I just have healthy breakups.
Nah, dude, I'm such a people pleaser that um I think I'm in pretty cool terms with almost all my exes except for one. And that is because I don't know how we left off. I can't tell if it was in good terms or not. But I
You
Because
don't
remember,
why
remember.
did you?
I just don't remember. There was so much like, okay, we broke up. I got into like the lowest place in my life. It was like the high
Mm,
school sweetheart thing. And it was
yeah.
like this whole
Mm.
love story where it's like, okay, yeah, I'll convert to Islam. Like like it was deep, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
was ready to go, you know what I mean?
You're like, it was high school love. I was gonna change my religion.
Yeah, dude, I was in it. You know how every American love story starts. I'll convert to Islam.
In the history of
Denounce-
America.
She's like, first you have to denounce Jesus, and then we can be happy ever after.
And then you
Yeah,
can touch this kitty.
yeah, dude. Like I
My
remember even
grandmother would
fasting and
drop.
everything.
My grandma would have dropped dead. My grandma- not Black Jesus. No,
Yeah.
Mama, no.
But it was like deep, deep, right? I was like really, really into her, and like the breakup was sloppy. She ended up cheating on me. But this is like,
Mm.
you go to college, and things are different than small hometown shit, and that's a
Yeah.
natural thing, But that's what happened. Things were weird, and then like I came from being like, nah, if we're gonna be in a relationship, I want to do it right. I want to talk to your father. I want to do this, and then it became to like, I know you cheated on me, but like, I'm sorry, come back. Like it was a whole shift where I
Oh
was just
no.
horrible,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like it was a
Latino
bunch of
man,
like
I miss it.
yeah, I mean, like we would stop talking and we would like, not talk for a while. Then all of a sudden she just pop back in, and then she like leave and then pop back in and then leave and pop back in.
Mm.
So while I'm going through this whole thing, I think we called it quits. And I think the whole back and the ping pong happened for a year,
Oh
and
my
then
god.
we finally called it quits. And by that time, I think I was Buddhist or some shit. Like I was just going through so much shit.
You're like, I need something.
I needed something, bro. And but so like, and I'm still like, now it's like, a couple months are passing, it's close to a year. I'm still really, really hurt about this. I'm tender. All my friends, I thought all my friends have blocked her. I don't have to think about her. I don't have to see her again. And then one day we're hanging out at my friend's house. I haven't thought of her in forever. And then my friend, I don't know why he did this. Just to this day, I don't know, understand why he thought this was funny. But he goes, "Yo, Franco, you look really good in this picture." And then he turns his phone around, and it's a picture of her and her husband that looks just like me.
Shut up.
And I was like, what the
That must
fuck?
have.
And he just starts laughing. He's like, ha 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 ha. Bro, and all my friends are like, yo, that's fucked up. Ha, ha, ha. And I go fucking pale. You know what I mean? I'm just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? That's what I look like if I'd be Muslim, And I'm just like hurt. And like thinking about it now, like I don't think he really looked like me. I think it was like maybe just very like a little similar, but that's all I
A little,
needed
so,
was
but
to
that's
see.
enough. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
always every one of my exes that ended up with a big black man. Do you know? I'm like,
My
okay, you
friends
still
say
think
that.
about me.
My friends say they're like, oh, that person's dating Great Value Katie. And I was like, it's not that bad. And then I like looked and I'm like, okay, that does look like me. Like there's a couple where I'm like, yeah, I guess you just like what you like.
Yeah, and that's two exes that married someone that looks kind of similar to me. That'd be
That's
two.
Say, what did
unfortunate.
that tell you? What did that tell you?
Yeah,
You already won.
yeah,
I feel like when they look like you, it's like wilder to see because you can just actually envision yourself. Like, I had dated this guy for a long time and he wanted to just get married and have kids like when we were like 20. And I was
Mhm.
like, no, I don't want that. And so like we just had to break up and like so he was just like a nice guy. I was just like, I don't want that right now. I'll die. Like I'll die if I live in the suburbs with like 80 kids that are named after your parents. Like I just won't make it. And he ended up getting this girl pregnant and they got married and my friends were like, you got to see the girl, like she literally looks like you. And I was like, no, it's not that bad. And then I like saw the picture, I'm like, that does look like me. It's like I can see
Damn,
exactly what I would have looked like if I was
damn.
in the situation.
But that's cool that they
Oh.
warned you. Like, hey, this girl looks
Yes.
like you. But
Yeah.
having that shit flipped, expecting
That's
yourself,
dirty. That's dirty of your
because
friend.
also like when you're a big dude and you're young, you have self-esteem issues. And he's like, you look good in this picture. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see where I look good.
I'm gonna use this on my dating profile.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm about to get a new profile picture, bro. I'm ready. And then it's that, and I'm like, oh no. Uh
Did your friends know, like, did that friend know how heartbroken you were, or do you think he thought you were over it by that point?
I think because he's had so many girlfriends and so many exes and like all this stuff, to him it was like no big deal. But
Yeah.
to
Also, he's
me, it
straight,
was like,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he
So
was-
like, I was like, oh no, nah, dude. I was
it's
like,
so cute, Katie. You
uh,
think the men actually care?
I'm like, did he? No, you know what? Actually, what I was thinking was like, I would probably do something like that to my friends, thinking only like, I think sometimes I have like fucked up wires where like if I feel sad about something, I feel better by laughing at how absurd it is, like whatever the sad thing is. And when I
Oh,
had
thank
this
God.
problem in well, I had this problem in
Because
relationships.
I don't want to
Go
cut you off,
ahead.
but it's
Yeah.
happened where like we laughed at something and I didn't feel appropriate laughing at it with you, but I'm the same way. So I'm happy that we're
Yeah.
officially on the same page. 'Cause you never actually said that, so I'm just
Okay, yeah.
thank you.
No, you're
I'm sorry.
fine.
Continue.
So Quinn and I have like Franco, we met and I was basically just like, I'm gonna make you be like my best friend. And he was like, okay, crazy lady. And then since that point, we have talked about like so much stuff and like he's talked me through like fucked up situations in my life and he tells me like when he's feeling fucked up or whatever. But we can joke about it and it feels fine. But I had this problem, which is why sometimes I think like, oh, I have that like fucked up comedian's brain where something terrible happens. And when it happens to me, I will make a joke about it because I can still see that whatever it is so absurd that it's funny.
mhm.
But other people don't have that problem. So like I would
They get
laugh at something
uncomfortable.
and like, yeah, my ex-boyfriend would like he used to have this thing where he would like choke when he drank water and he'd make like a funny sound and then he'd be fine. Like whatever it was, he had like some like he broke a bone or something, but he'd be fine like immediately after. So to me, I'm like, oh, that's not like actually like he's not actually in danger, so it's just like funny that he makes this funny sound and I would like laugh at it like it just like out of a terror, like I didn't even decide to laugh at it. It was just like I'd make like a joke about it and he was like, this is not fucking funny, and I was like, oh yeah, to you it's not funny. Like to me, I've been in like the surgery prep room for something and they've had to tell me and my parents to be quiet because we're like laughing too hard. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I gotta like be sensitive here. I can't be a piece of shit. So like if I was you or like your friend, I would probably make a joke like that and then later be like, oh, that probably really hurt his feelings. I was thinking we could both laugh at how fucked up it is that that guy kind of looks like you as a
Yeah,
way to
nah,
cope with it.
nah. He was being a dick. He was being a dick,
Mm.
straight
I
up.
just gave him way too much credit.
Straight guy.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, you know what's crazy, bro? I just like I don't know what happened, but like something clicked, and I remember how we left off. Like I just
Okay, what
remember
was it?
the last thing I remember was there was so much ping ponging, right? All this back and forth, and then one day she texted me, and I'm fucking hurt because I'm holding on to hope because I was like maybe we can get back together. She
Are
texted
Yeah.
me,
you
hey,
hooking up though? Like
Yeah, I
you're
was just gonna
not
ask
just
you, are
like
you
talking. You're like
here's
there's
the fucked up
shaboing
part.
boinging going.
There is, right, and there's some hooking up, and it's random. It's like
okay?
I'm on my way home. My dad thinks I'm gonna show up at. Like, this is what she's saying. I'm on my
Yeah.
way home. My dad thinks I'm gonna be there at 2. I got out at 12. Can I come over? All right, cool, no problem.
Oh.
It would be like
That's
that,
hot.
and then it's yeah yeah it was thinking
I
about it.
mean,
But like it was for her to get her rocks off, as they say.
Yeah.
And then like right before it was time for me to do my thing, she said, oh, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go. So there was a
Oh,
lot of
she's
that.
an actual demon.
There was a
Oh
lot of
my
that.
god.
And I remember one time where I was like, I held her at the door and I was like, I'm just hoping we can work this out, Like I still care for you. She gave me the single Indian tear and then would walk out. And I remember that. I remember that. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Does
Yeah,
that
like
mean that
what?
I love you too or what? You know what I mean?
And your brain wants it to be true, so your brain is like, she's probably crying because she feels that connection too. And
she's acting.
bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I like it's all coming back. This is crazy. You want to talk about? You want to talk about getting messy? I'm I'm fucking
Yes,
getting there
let's
right now.
do it.
Let's
No,
get in.
it's. I remember her being like a fucking steel door, like a steel trap of emotions. Like I'd be like, "Here's what I feel. Here's what I feel. Here's what I feel. What about you? Yeah, yeah, I feel like that."
Oh.
She,
And I'd be like, "What are you
so
talking about?"
she was the
Yeah.
top.
So you
Yeah,
did
Um,
me.
she
You did
yeah,
finished. She
me in
finished
my
first. She
20s.
didn't care about you. She kept her emotions to herself. She
but
got
it
with
would be
somebody else that looks like you. Top.
yeah,
Yeah.
bro. It was like I'm gonna give you a little bit of emotion so you can like bite it,
Yeah.
and then like I'll never pull the fucking what a horrible example. But you know what I mean. Where it's like she
Yeah,
would give me a
yeah.
little bit to make me believe like, oh shit, we can work this out, and like yeah, we
Yeah.
could, and then like never did the thing. But
And
I
then she never
remember,
will follow through.
She would never do the
yeah.
part where she's like, "But we will." She's just like,
So
"We could."
it was all confusion, dude. I remember, um, so there was this, the last time I think we like, when she hit me up, she was like, hey, I just have to tell you, I am seeing someone. He's a really good guy, and da
Oh,
da 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 da. And I remember getting the first wave of like, oh fuck, and then the rest of it was a
Yeah.
complete relief. I was like, thank
Yeah.
God, now I know it's done. Like this is it. Like it's over. She found somebody.
Yeah.
I can fucking go do my own thing. And it felt so good and bad at the same time, but it was okay. I was Buddhist. I could handle that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
you
uh,
chant it out.
yeah. But
You
then,
just like Nam your whoring, Gert yo, Nam your whoring.
yeah. But then years later, right? I start dating my current girlfriend, Angelique, right? I'm in the middle of sleeping. My phone rings at like 3 a.m. And I look at my phone and I just see an A. And I just remember falling back asleep and then waking up and being like, oh, my girl called me last night. I wonder what she wanted. But it wasn't my girl, it was my ex. And I'm like,
Oh
it's
my
been
god.
years since I've talked to her. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I'm like, is everything okay? I'm like, do I text back? What do I do? I go on Facebook. I do like a quick, like, let me see what's going on. And I see like, someone recently passed in her life or whatever. And then this nervous text message, I just go, hey, I saw you call me last night. I assumed there was a butt dial. I'm sorry to hear about this. I'm sorry to hear about that. Da 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 da. Like I know, they're probably looking down on you. Da da da. I did this whole thing where like, I'm sorry to hear about what happened. Hope everything's okay. And all I got back was, I appreciate the kind words. Thanks.
What the fuck?
Why did you call me at 3 in the morning?
Yeah.
Don't thank me. It's not like I just randomly texted you. You called me at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And like I never got an answer for that. And that's
That.
what fucks me up. That's the last little mine that she put back there.
Oh my
She sounds
god.
like she should be visited by 3 ghosts on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
She is a horrible
She needs
human
to be
being.
visited by 3 ghosts right before Ramadan starts, and she needs to think
Three
about
wise
things.
men.
Yeah. That's a person that needs to work on themselves because by any chance was the night that she called, was it a night that she would be going out? Like, do you think maybe she was just drunk?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know where it was in the timeline because I wasn't
Yeah.
like following up on that. I wasn't. I was trying to.
Yeah.
I was
hmm
have my own life. I was happy. I was doing my own thing. Wasn't even thinking. Wasn't
Wow.
even thinking about her. Nothing. And it
Yeah.
just out of nowhere, 3 a.m. And I shouldn't even been like. I shouldn't even done all that. I should have just
I
been like,
know.
"You good? Like what happened?
Yeah.
3 a.m. You know
Well,
what I
I
mean?"
don't know. I don't think you should. I don't. There's nothing wrong with like being a good person and like reaching out. I don't think that's what's wrong. She's what's wrong here.
She's
I don't
what's
think your
wrong.
response is what's
Yeah.
To this
wrong.
day,
Honestly,
I need to know. I need to know. It just bothers me to not
Yeah.
know. Like, what was it? Like, even if it was like I got a flat tire and I was by your house, I'd be like, okay, cool. That's all I wanted to know. Bye.
Yeah.
You know?
She's not gonna tell
Mm.
you. The fact that she hasn't told you makes me feel like what she was doing was taking the temperature of the room. Like maybe she was in a fight with her husband or whatever, and she's like, "Do I still have that pull? Like, is he still on the shelf in
Yeah.
my room? Like, can I pull him down?" Because there's some people who are just, I call them shelfers, and they just like put people on their shelves, and
Mm,
then they'll pull them down whenever they need them for whatever the purpose is.
mm.
And
Evil.
They are definitely a lot. Yeah. So when you guys were on those breaks before, were you dating other people or were you just like waiting for her to come back?
Nah, it wasn't even like official breaks. I remember it was like, we're not dating, but we're texting all day.
Okay.
She's like, I'm going to this party tonight, and I'm like, be careful. You need me to drive you, like da da da, things like that. And it would
Yeah.
be like, hey, I'm at this party. I'm a little creeped out. All these dudes are all over me, and I'd pick her up or whatever. So it was like eh, there was a relationship without the relationship.
Yeah.
It was like that towards the end.
I'm embarrassed, but I did that to a person in my early 20s and
You did?
that almost to the exact same thing of like uh we did everything like we were dating,
Hmm.
but I would always be like we're not official, and then we were like official, and then we broke up, and then we'd go out, and my friends like this is pre Uber, but like if we couldn't find like a cab or something, my friends would be like call him, he'll pick you up. And like I remember one time they were like call him, he'll drive us home, and he picked us up, and we're in the back of the car, and my friend turns to me and she goes, this is really fucked up of you. And I was like, absolutely not. This is fucked up of all of us. Like I was like, you are not sinking the ship alone. It's fucked up by all of us. And my friend's like, you should at least sleep with him. Like
Well, it
they
was the least you could do, Katie.
yeah, they were like, this is so fucked up. And I'm like, all of you shut your fucking whore mouths, because none of you, like, this was not even my idea. This was your idea. And they were like, just like, I was part of the problem, because obviously I was the problem, but like, I did that exact thing.
I mean,
And
they
then
didn't have his number, Katie.
I know. But like we did that same thing, and we had that same like um thing where we just like drifted away. Like eventually I think I just was like I like stopped I was like, this is mean of me to contact him with no intention of it going anywhere like long term. And then years later, in my mind, now I'm like seeing it from the other side. In my mind I was like, we could just be buds now, and I like ran into one of his friends at a party, and I was like, his friend was like, oh my god, we love you, like you're so cool, I miss you, blah blah blah. And I was like, we should call him together, and he was like, absolutely not, his girlfriend will flip the fuck out. And I was like, really? Like if I just
You
call
almost
him?
did it
And
again.
yeah, and I was like, we could just call him and have him meet us out. And he's like, absolutely not. Like, thank God the friend was like, no, you're not going to start a problem in this current relationship when you have zero intention of anything happening.
Well,
And I was like,
well, Katie.
I know, I was
I've
toxic.
never done anything like that. I have never, ever done that to anybody.
Well, you win this one.
I would never string anybody along like that and not commit to them. I never did that. I would
Well,
date them for a month and then ghost them.
exactly.
I couldn't do
Franco's
that.
like, you
I
guys are
couldn't ghost.
toxic. You couldn't ghost?
Not really
Nah, I'm too
ghost.
nice.
It's soft ghost. You just get busy.
What's this? Oh, soft ghost.
Oh,
Okay.
like you're
Yeah.
still reaching out, but you're not available to hang out. So you're like
Oh, I'm not
angry.
available this weekend, and then you're never available again.
Mm. Franco's
Yeah.
just too good of a person, it feels like.
That's
I'm
why
just
people are marrying men like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't even say that. I think I have a crippling addiction to be a people pleaser. Like I'm constantly like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to bother anybody. I don't want to do this. I
Yeah.
grew up with my mom being like, don't do this, don't do that. They're gonna yell at you. They're gonna
Yeah.
yell at you. You do this, they're gonna yell at you. So I always got that that fear of being yelled at in the back of my head. And
Yeah.
then I'm dating a loud Italian woman who loves to yell at me all the time, and
Oh,
I love
perfect.
it.
You're like, this feels comfortable.
Yeah. She yells at me in the best way, dude. So it's
You're
like,
like, I know how to exist.
now I'm like, all right, cool. You can't yell at me any harder than she does. So now I'm fearless. You know what I mean?
That's great. I wonder, and I'm glad you didn't do this, but I wonder if while you guys were having that back and forth, if she had reached out to you and you had been like, oh, I have a date next week or whatever it is. Like, I'm actually on a date right now. I can't meet with you. I bet you I don't think it would have worked long term because this lady sounds like she has a lot of issues. but I bet you it would have like captured her attention by being like, "Oh my god, I can't treat him this way anymore." But I
Okay.
don't know like how long term it would last, but that is um she seems like one of those people where if you were just like even if you were really respectful about it and just kind of like, "I'd love to meet you, but I'm on a date right now." Um
Mm,
I think she would have been like, "What?" like and then you
yeah.
just be like, "Yeah, you just wouldn't commit, so I didn't think we were doing anything, blah blah blah." And that's like playing a game, and I don't think you would have won long term because I think this lady has like I said, I think she
Oh
has some stuff.
no, I don't. I can already tell this is not a game Franco is built for. Like that's
No.
Yeah.
no, 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 no,
Nah,
no,
nah.
no, no,
Not
no,
at
no,
all.
no.
No,
Not at
no,
all.
no.
Nah, but
He
Franco's
is
like,
also
not
"I
conniving.
don't."
He is better than us, Katie.
He's
He is
not
not
conniving.
conniving.
He is
And
way
no,
better than
no.
us. He's a way better person than us. He's like a game. I have a healthy interactions and back and forth with people and build connections. And I'm like,
I
if you
don't know.
want
He
to
said his
commit,
girlfriend is Italian, so I don't know how healthy those interactions are. But he definitely is a people pleaser, though. Because I've dated
yeah.
Italians before, and as a black person, they didn't always know how to talk to me, so we had some issues.
oh my god,
Those were some fights.
oh my god,
Yeah, no, at that place where I was at, like I feel like if I tried that, like if my friend was like, "Yo, just tell her you're on a date," I'd be like,
yeah,
"Okay." I would tell her I'm on a date, and I would immediately go, "Fuck, fuck, fuck! I just ruined my chances. I just ruined my
yeah,
chances."
exactly,
I was in such a bad place, dude. I was so
yeah,
like needy and all that shit. But also, to give the benefit of the doubt, I was her first relationship or first boyfriend. Period. Type of
yeah,
shit. And there was a whole lot of like sneaking around. She wasn't allowed to have boyfriends, especially, I'm a sinner. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I wasn't, I was Catholic. I was raised Catholic, whatever. All this shit. There was a lot of hurdles, and I feel
Boo!
like
No,
that
I'm just
kind of.
kidding.
I
No, I'm
I
just
think.
kidding.
No, I agree with you. I agree. um, I think that kind of like led to like the romanticism, like the sneaking
Probably,
around and like all this
yeah,
stuff. But like we're kids, we didn't know how to be in a relationship. 17 or
hmm
whatever.
yeah.
Um, and I wasn't exactly the hottest on the market. So like I held on to anything. The only thing I do hate was the fact that because of all the on and off that my relationships in because she was in a different town, so a different high school. The relationships in my high school when I was like starting to see somebody was like I would immediately cut it off if she was like, all right, let's do this for real. So like I cut off a bunch of
Oh,
different like dates and like all that stuff because of this situation.
yeah.
I hate this
But
woman.
yeah,
Me
I don't know
too.
about you, Katie, but I
She's
hate her.
annoying. Like I'm glad she kept you off the market long enough to meet your current girlfriend, so that's
yeah,
good.
yeah,
But
yeah.
other than that, I don't like this other lady.
And
And this
surprisingly enough, it doesn't seem like he's held what she's done to him against other women.
No, you just seem
Oh
like
no, not at
nice
all.
and like healthy about
That is
it.
not, Franco. That is not normal. That is not
Yeah,
typical.
it's not.
Most men will have a bad relationship with a woman and make every woman they meet after her pay for it. So good for you.
Oh nah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know
Franco
what?
is just a real saint.
Nah, it also helped that I was like, I'm not looking for anyone that looks like her. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I was like, I'm not doing what
okay.
you're doing. I'm not doing what you're doing. And I was just like naturally falling into different relationships and shit after that, you know? So
That's amazing.
yeah, no, I can't do that. I can't meet somebody and be
Eh,
like, nah, fuck you. You look too much like her.
You know what? I mean, I think I've done that. I think I've done. Yeah. Like I
Yeah?
can't
You
mess with
found
anybody
someone
that
like
looks like.
someone?
Yeah, like I've had bad. Then I'm like, no, you look too much like somebody else. Like if they remind me, like no, I can't do that. Like
You
yeah,
That
lived
sucks.
us
I didn't
too
think about
long.
that until just now though.
That sucks though. Like if you have a type, you have no other choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, well, I'm a slut, so. But yeah, but I'd imagine that would
You're
be hard for some
fine.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know mad people that just dated the same dude over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
I have a friend that has their people had the same name. And so like I'd be calling the boyfriend by the wrong name and I was like, "Oh god, I meant the other boyfriend, but it worked because that's his boyfriend's name."
Oh, it's weird. I have a friend who dated a girl with the same name. So but like not one after the other. It was like one long term, same name, and then like a month of like some different name, and then long term, same name from that one girl. And it was so weird because you would go to say her name and you're like, oh no, I'm fucking up. That's the
Yeah.
ex. And then you're like, no, wait, no, that is her.
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, you're like, oh shit. You like panic every time you said
But
her name.
that
Yeah.
must be so weird. So like someone's like, are you and Amy still together? Like, yeah. Like it's just weird. Like it
Oh
references
yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah.
Cause like if people hear like so and so are together, they're not gonna think like this is a different, it's like a little bewitched thing. Like you can't just switch out
Yeah.
the character. Like that's strange.
Yeah, like it's a new
That
Amy, like it's a Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It's still
like
Amy, but it's a
Amy. Yeah,
different
exactly.
doctor.
yeah, that's a better reference. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
You can just
You're
get a
like, it's
new
not like
Amy.
Aunt Vivian.
yeah. A new amphibian.
Somebody
Yeah,
has to
yeah.
be somebody has to be like the better looking Amy. So
That's the problem too. There's always like a great value Amy, and then it sucks if you're a great value one.
Yeah.
With my friend, I would be like literally I'd be thinking of the other, like let's just say both their names are Tom. I'd be thinking of the other Tom, and I'd be like, "Is Tom gonna come?" And then I'd be like, "Oh fuck, oh no, it still works." Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's a
met
panic.
other Tom. Yeah,
It's a
like,
panic,
whoops,
yeah.
sorry. That's great.
Oh man.
All right. Well, Franco, this has been lovely. We didn't even get to our list because Franco had did a little therapy session where we made him
Therapy.
relive his most traumatic breakup.
we trauma
And
bonded.
we trauma bonded. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
you sharing your story. Quinn, you're welcome. That for once, because Franco, normally people tell us like fucked up things that happen, or listeners will write in crazy stories of bad things that happen to them. And Quinn will be like, "Oh, I did what that person in the story has done." And today I got to do that for you guys. So
Nice.
Yeah, for once it wasn't me. For once
yeah.
it wasn't me. I'm so happy about that.
So Franco, why don't you tell people where they can find you, and then let's also talk about this comedy album because you've recorded a comedy album and at some point it will be getting released.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll talk about that real quick. I recorded that last year in September. And I had a hard time finding an audio engineer. I had a couple tries and just things weren't working out. And then um a good problem to have is that video that went viral. And then I had people reach out that they wanted to do a special and stuff like that. So I was like, I have to hold this material back in case any of these other things pan out. And then they didn't. So then I'm like, fuck it. Let me just release this. And I was like, oh shit, wait, I still didn't get an engineer. So what I'm doing now is my good friend Lou Darraville, very talented. He just set up a camera just so we can get clips. But we're actually working on just releasing it as a DIY special. Just one
Oh,
camera,
nice.
one shot.
Okay.
And just putting it on YouTube. So we're working on editing that. And I'll just rip the audio and put that up.
Yeah.
So I don't got to deal with this whole like audio engineer thing, things like that.
Yeah.
So that should be out very soon. I think within the next couple of months.
Great.
Great.
But yeah, if you guys want to see me on Instagram, I'm Franco_Danger. That's Franco with a C. Twitch, Franco Danger. YouTube, Franco Danger. Everything's Franco Danger. And Fortnite, Franco Danger. If you want to catch me on Fortnite, I'm gonna
Is
get
that
some
what you
dubs.
stream? What game do you stream?
I love Fortnite. People are like, play Call of Duty. I'm like, nah, dude. Everything is brown, and like there's no creativity in like the characters. You can be like a soldier or a soldier dressed as leaves. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Like
That's
Fortnite, you
pretty
pull up with your
accurate.
crew. Yeah, right. If Fortnite, you pull
That's
up with
pretty
your crew. You
accurate.
got Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Goku, a fucking Bruno Mars, Rick from Rick and Morty. You know what I mean?
Franco is such a romantic.
He embraces diversity.
Yeah, I love it.
You know, that's all.
That's
All.
awesome.
That's all. You know, how often can you like say like, "Yo, my team got fucked up by a frozen banana"? You know what I mean? Like they fucking demolished me.
Annihilated.
I love it.
You don't get that in Call of
That's
Duty.
funny. You don't get that in Call of Duty.
No.
Oops.
We will put Franco's links in the show notes too, so you guys can follow him. And you guys can send us your messy stories. You can email them to us, messyshowpod@gmail.com. You can DM us on Instagram or Twitter at messyshowpod. You can also just DM Quinn and I if you have any messy stories, and we'd love to hear about your messy breakups. We'd love to hear if you are one of the people who have strung someone along. Make me feel better.
Or
Tell
been
me
strung
something
along.
shitty or been strung along, but especially if you've been doing the stringing. I would love to feel less shitty, or at least alone. And we will see you guys next week. Franco, thank you so much for joining us
Yo,
and
thank
bearing
you
your
guys
soul.
so
Really
much.
appreciate it.
I
This
needed
was
this
great.
more than I knew.
You're like,
That's what
who
we aim
knew?
for. Therapeutic.
I
Yeah.
love it. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.
See ya.
See ya.